All right, today we're tackling an institution that we all think we know inside and out, the library. But here's the thing, that quiet, familiar place has a pretty wild story of constantly reinventing itself. So let's dive in.
Yeah, when you think library, you probably picture rows and rows of books, maybe a bit of shishing, right? But that image, that's just one chapter in a much, much bigger story. The library has never just stood still. It's always been this kind of mirror, reflecting how we find and use knowledge.
So, to really get this, let's start with a foundational definition from Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, who's basically the father of library science in India. He boiled it down to two key actions: the care of a collection and, just as important, the duty to make that collection accessible. That simple idea right there is the bedrock for everything else.
Okay, so with that idea of care and duty in our minds, let's dig a little deeper into what a library really is, because it's way more than just a book place.
You know, the word itself actually comes from the Latin for a book place, which sounds pretty straightforward. But the really crucial part is the second half of this definition. It's an organization of human thought, arranged for effective use. See? It's not just a warehouse for books. It's a system designed to help you find what you need.
In that whole system of organization, it serves a purpose that goes way beyond just lending out books. In fact, the library's whole mission is really built on four main pillars. So here they are, the four pillars holding the whole thing up. First, there's education, supporting learning at every stage of life. Then, information, giving us access to accurate, current info on pretty much anything. Third, culture, acting as a guardian for our heritage. And finally, recreation, a place that encourages us to use our free time in a positive, meaningful way.
Now, when you put those four pillars together, what you get is something so much more powerful than just a building. You get a fundamental social institution.
In fact, one of the best ways to think about it is this: a people's university. How cool is that? It's an institution of higher learning that's open to absolutely everyone, no matter who you are or where you come from. And this is where the library's role in society really clicks into place. It's not just some passive building, right? It's an active force. It's out there pushing for self-education, making sure we hear different points of view so we can be informed citizens, and it's preserving our collective memory for generations to come.
But what happens when the very nature of information itself gets turned on its head? Well, that brings us to a major turning point in our story.
See, in the 20th century, the world completely flipped. We went from information being scarce to having an absolute overload of it. Suddenly, the challenge wasn't finding a book, it was trying to navigate this massive ocean of articles, reports, patents, and data. The old model was just buckling under the pressure.
So that raised a huge question for the library as an institution. I mean, when knowledge is exploding in every direction, how can a building full of books possibly keep up? Is it even the right tool for the job anymore?
The answer? Evolution. A whole new kind of institution had to emerge, one designed specifically for this new age.
So say hello to the Information Center. Its job isn't just to hand you a book. Its whole purpose is to go inside the book and the report and the patent to find the exact little piece of data you're looking for. It analyzes, it extracts, and it delivers hyper-specific info to specialists.
And this chart here makes the difference totally clear. A library gives you the whole document. That's the macro view. But an information center, it zooms way in to give you the specific fact within that document, the micro view. So their collections are different, what they do is different, and who they serve is different. One's for the general public, the other is for the specialist.
And these centers get even more specialized. For example, you have an information analysis center. Think of it like a fact checker for a scientist who needs rock-solid, verified data. Then there's a clearinghouse, which is like a one-stop shop for a policymaker who needs reports from all over the world. And a data bank? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like, a gold mine for an economist who just needs the raw numbers and stats.
But this evolution didn't stop there. Not by a long shot. Right now, we are living through the next great transformation, and this one is all about technology.
You know, the digital revolution didn't just stick a computer in the corner of the library. Oh no. It has fundamentally rewired its entire nervous system. The way information is gathered, stored, and shared has been completely reimagined from the ground up.
So here's the biggest takeaway. The library is no longer just a physical place. You've got things like local area networks, or LANs, connecting people inside a building. And then you have wide area networks, WANs, connecting users all across the globe. What this means is you can access its resources from your desk, from your home, from, well, anywhere. The physical walls of the library have basically dissolved.
And all of that leaves us with one final and I think really fascinating question. In a world where you can pull up pretty much any fact from a device in your pocket, what's the library's next great role? What's its unique purpose now, in an age of basically infinite information? Well, that's the chapter that's being written as we speak. Thanks for watching.